Hello, my name is Diana Hoyos, and this is my final presentation on my internship at the Better Business Bureau, Metropolitan New York, for my dispute resolution course. So to start off, my job at the Better Business Bureau of Metropolitan New York was described as a complaint analyst, and I was in charge of taking care of complaints. So I would receive them, go over them, analyze them, and then determine whether they are worth sending out to a business or just closing out and letting the consumer know that their complaint cannot be handled. Some of my daily tasks include coming in, clocking in on the computer through the BBB portal, checking my emails, doing all of my incoming cases, all of the fresh new cases, getting them out of the way and sent out so that they're not just sitting there, and then get started on the cases that need work. So I might have to reply to some businesses or some consumers. If I get a message from a business or consumer, my job was to make sure it goes in the complaint so it's on our record, and make sure to send it out to the other party, which it's meant for. One thing I really enjoyed about the Better Business Bureau internship is that I worked on my own. So every day I came in, I clocked in, I was assigned a specific computer at a desk, and that was my computer for the day, and all of my work was done there, and I did not need to speak to anybody or work with anybody or teamwork. It was just all of my work on my own, just independently, nobody to help me. Unless I did have questions, I did have to go to the supervisors, either Anthony or Andrew, but after 3 weeks into the internship, I stopped going to them for help because they had answered all the questions. I was already familiar with cases or what to do in certain situations. So that was one thing I really liked, that once I got the hang of it, I was able to just continue the work on my own. I did not really need to get anyone's help. And in terms of my coworkers, the other people in my dispute resolution department, I would just sometimes maybe speak to them, maybe like crack some jokes, but it was mostly my own work, just doing my own thing, independent, and not needing really to rely on anyone. The comfort. So I was very comfortable at my internship. Like I said, it was just my space. So it was a very comfortable work environment, which was really important to me because at the BBB, everyone focuses on their own thing and makes it a pleasant workspace. So even though you are surrounded by people, you know that everyone's concentrated on their own work and we're all just there sharing a workspace, but we don't really have to interact. And the people there were also very easily approachable, and they also helped out. So maybe if a supervisor was not available, I could actually just get the answer from one of my coworkers if they're available, if they're not busy on their own work. But it was pretty much just an open workspace. It was just very comfortable, very enjoyable place to work as well. Another thing I really liked was the convenience of it. So with the internship at the BBB, since all the work was done from a computer, when the COVID-19 pandemic began, I was required to finish the last 3 weeks of my internship from home, which was very convenient for me because I did not have to go to work physically. I did not have to be exposed to anything. I was not in any danger. So since all of the work was done on the computer, you clock in, all your work is done, all your emails, I was able to do that from home. The only thing that really changed once the pandemic began was I was not able to make any phone calls nor to the businesses nor the consumers. So that was the only thing. So I did get a lot of emails in my work email about businesses and consumers saying that they've been trying to call me, they've been trying to reach me, they'd really like to get a hold of me on the phone, and I had to explain to them I'm very sorry. I can no longer speak to you over the phone because I am working from home and I do not have the phone with me to give you a phone call. So that was one thing, was that a little bit hard to communicate through email as opposed to just having a quick phone call. But I was able to adjust. Anything that I could not get done myself, I just have to send it to either Anthony or Andrew, make sure they're aware, like, hey, I'm having this issue, and if maybe you could help me out with this case because I cannot get in contact with this person. So that was the only thing that really changed. But other than that, I'd have to wake up, clock in, do my work, maybe just if I'm not doing anything, maybe just there, do some schoolwork on my other tabs, but if not, just work on my internship from home. But it was pretty much the same thing, same routine at the BBB. And then also working through the computer was not putting me, like I said, in any physical harm or stressing me out or anything. I just worked from home, did my own thing. So from what I took away from the internship is that I was able to work in a professional work environment where people have their 9 to 5, where people have different positions or different departments for the internship. Well, at the Better Business Bureau, so there was the dispute resolution internship, like that department. There was also a charity there. There was volunteers. There's also the people who take care of BBB reviews. There were many different departments, and each department is sat in a group. So each department is grouped differently. So it was easy because since every department was grouped in their own work area, they all were in the same department, so they can all speak to each other, or they all knew they were doing the same work. So that was also very easy as well. And then what I mostly liked was that it was very independent. So I did not have to go there. And even though I am working for somebody, it did not really feel like I had to work for someone. I just kind of felt really independent, and it was very good to work like that because now I have this professional work experience that I can take with me to in the future. Of course, I will need this experience. So I can say I did do this internship, and of course it was unpaid. So that's also a good thing. That looks very good as well. So that's what I took away from this internship. So it was really good to get a feel of the environment, the kind of work I did, and see if maybe in the future I want a full-time job there or a part-time job there. Or just in general, if I don't ever go back to the Better Business Bureau, I have that experience to take with me in the future. And it was also very hands-on, which I really liked. So I got a full experience of what it was like to work at the Better Business Bureau. And it kind of gave me a taste of what it was like to work at a very serious job, like as a professional, and making these phone calls, sending emails, and just getting the full hands-on experience. So that is mostly what I enjoyed about the Better Business Bureau. And that is also what I really liked. And of course, that experience will stay with me in the future because, of course, it is an internship, and in college it is good to do internships. So that was my Better Business Bureau internship.